Morning, welcome to the show. It's We Are live from Grand Center. And that's in St. Louis, Missouri. It's Midcoast Studio. I'm Chris Denman. It's We Are Live. Excited to be here today. It's just me sitting here in a black shirt. Ill-planned when you have a black background. The green lighting's okay. For those of you just listening at home, the way the studio's set up, we have some green background lights that kind of make me just look like a ghost with my black shirt on, floating above the desk. Excited to be here on a Monday. Had a big weekend, lots to get to. Have some video content to go over. Attended some local wrestling. No Travis Terrell today, but we do have the stream queen and executive producer, Chris Gardner, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, gentleman. Not men.
Do you want to?
Gentleman.
Is there a way to control? Do you want to sit over here? Would we have a more intimate experience?
Now then I'm away from my laptop, and
okay.
It's kind of a comfort thing.
Yeah, right. And then you can't.
It's like if you left your cell phone at home or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's trying to contact me? Oh, no one. But
that is depressing. Oh man, I've been asleep for 7.5 hours. Bet my phone. No, it's not.
Blowing
Facebook,
up, I'm sure.
No, not happening. Had a big weekend. I hope you all did too. Why haven't you hit share yet on the stream?
Organic growth.
Thank you. We got here this morning. So where we're located, it's called the .Zac building. We're in Grand Center. We're surrounded by the arts. We're surrounded by live music, live entertainment, art installations that scare the bejesus out of me as I drive up. There was a scene. So the Fringe Festival is happening. Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
It's supposed
to
be
for people that live on
the Fringe. Yeah, it's like that Aerosmith song. Living on the Fringe. No.
Close.
It's an artistic endeavor. They have performance art. It's supposed to be non-mainstream art and performance, I believe.
Okay.
I think. I don't speak for Fringe Fest.
I saw them setting up some yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't see that, and I drove up this morning, and there's a giant thing that looks like it belongs in season 1 of True Detective.
I thought you were going to say Burning Man.
Well, that as well. There's very Burning Man-esque. I mean, we're talking, 20-foot tall installations, and a car is part of it, and it's parked in a grass area where there's not, and there's this sculpture that just says "Fear" 9,000 times, and I thought maybe.
Oh, is that what it says?
I thought maybe I came up on some kind of a scene. It's not good.
Things could get interesting around here.
See, I thought that you got Big Crystal involved, and
I'm sure they're involved with something like this.
Something Big Crystal presents art installations at Fringe Fest. Okay. No, I said not good, the art and all the performance. I think it's a very cool thing. I don't like thinking there are satanic beasts waiting around the corner as we walk up.
I don't think they're satanic. Maybe pagan in nature.
All right. Do they do any sacrificing? In your experience?
Just because it's pagan doesn't mean that there's human sacrifice involved.
Who's doing the sacrificing?
These days? It changes.
That's it? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good.
It's changed over time, Chris.
Right.
Have you never seen Ancient Aliens?
I have, and ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
Yeah. 10 years now that show's been going on.
10 years?
Or 10 seasons, I should say, at least. Maybe it is 10 years, though.
Okay.
But congratulations to them nonetheless.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We'll get that worked out.
I got to plug the computer in for it to work.
Oh, okay. That's sometimes an issue. While you're doing that, I'll tell our friends about Tech Electronics. They help make the Midcoast Studio what it is. I know everybody appreciates you to see my beautiful face 5 days a week. And those cameras are brought to you by Tech Electronics. That's right, techelectronics.com. All kinds of services available for St. Louis businesses. Countless advantages to migrating your system to the cloud. You can learn more about Tech Cloud by contacting Tech Electronics today. You can just head to the website, find out more information. They're a wonderful partner of ours. They started here in St. Louis, Gardner, just like you.
Yes, that's true. I did.
And they have
Born in
locations throughout
Chesterfield,
the
this one
Midwest.
here.
Yeah. Do you feel elite? Is that why you go
County.
after the Chesterfield County folks?
My self-loathing. Maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
St. Luke's Hospital.
Is that what
where
it
I
was?
was born. No, I go after them for other reasons.
What's the main one?
Condescending nature.
Yeah. Lack of Metrolink.
It's blah.
Mm-hmm.
They got TopGolf now. That's like their thing, and outlet stores.
How do you feel about
I don't
that?
mind some of the people.
When your branding is a nationwide chain of golf and beer pitchers, that's your branding.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Well, that and specifically in Chesterfield, allowing husbands to leave the home so their wives can cheat on them while they're away.
Who's running into the roost when the husband's out cheating on his thing? Like, who are the guys? It's not repairman.
Probably someone from the city.
Is it? Oh, okay.
That's my guess.
Okay, all right. I did see you wearing a Chesterfield County T-shirt this weekend.
Yes, on Saturday.
You did. We attended. We attended professional wrestling. Is it professional wrestling? South Broadway Athletic Club.
Yeah.
They have wrestling all the time. I don't know how frequently, but basically we went and it was full. Yeah, I mean, there were several hundred people in there.
That picture you're seeing right now, that's Baracus versus Moondog. That was the first bout of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
That
Moondog's a crowd pleaser.
Yes, and actually
he lost, but still received cheers.
I was rooting for him.
Yeah. Let's peek into the future.
I went back to my local watering hole after the event and told a few people what I was doing, and one guy looked at me and goes, "Was Moondog there?" And I'm like, "Yes, he was. Moondog was there." I love Moondog. I'm like, I did too. It was fantastic. He did lose, but he's a crowd pleaser.
He's still a people's champion. Now, he didn't get so. Here was my experience. I went to an event last night. We can get into it in a bit, but I was with a friend who's a huge pro wrestling fan, and he goes, "That's not pro wrestling, man."
Well, it's.
I said, well, I was trying to figure out what it was because he turned his nose up a little bit at it. And I said, well, is it hobbyist?
He sounds like he lives in the Chesterfield of
wrestling.
Pro wrestling
Yeah.
here.
Well, I talked to him about it, and he was kind of just saying that essentially those are part-timers who try hard. Does that make sense?
It's like kind of.
There are levels to entertainment.
Can you say semi-pro? Can
Yeah.
you say that maybe?
I think so. Would they be upset though? Because there was storyline.
Yeah.
There were noticeable personalities.
I was entertained. That's all I cared about.
Okay.
And so that's the key component there.
Yeah.
And I was entertained.
That was my thing too, because it's $10 to get in.
Yeah.
And then if you drink, there's $2 beers, and then there's food, sodas. You got the whole thing.
And then
everybody behaved too.
As I was walking in, I saw someone, or this is after I walked in. I was coming back to the door for something, and saw someone I knew. Her husband was coming in too, a friend of mine. So there was a couple I saw, and that couple is friends with a friend of ours, Shawn.
Oh, no.
So he called Shawn and said, "What are you doing? You got to get down here." And guess what happened, everyone? Guess who showed up?
Oh, no.
Shawn did. He bought a Mexican wrestling mask. You'd see his hair kind of peacocking out of the back there.
Yeah.
That's how he uses both hands when he drinks his vodkas.
That's him drinking?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a candid photo of Shawn drinking a vodka soda? Or is vodka on the rocks?
There's a light mixer.
Through his luchador mask.
Yes.
That's ill-fitting.
Yes.
Is the way. Now, what would have happened if Shawn would have got called into the ring?
He would have went in there.
Would it have been about like his trapeze?
It would have been interesting watching him get in there.
Yeah.
Like even him getting in the ring would have some hilarity.
You think Baracus would have sent him into the third row?
He was chatting everybody up, including the referee at one point.
Oh no! Oh no! So if you're new to the show or you're not familiar, Shawn voices our Dogs on Film every week, and for lack of a better term, he's a damn character, and I feel like he gives Gardner more energy than any Crystal ever has. It's just he's a delight. So he just dropped everything and came over. Does Shawn drive?
Sometimes.
Did he drive to the wrestling event?
I don't know actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was because I'm picturing Shawn kind of, at this point, it's 7 or 8 at night.
Yeah.
What was Shawn doing since probably 11 a.m.? But either way.
Well, he did work that day.
Oh, okay. He was busy.
Yeah.
So he came, he saw, he conquered.
Yeah, he could have just been over at Mobar when we called.
What's that say? Okay, so is it a good thing or a bad thing that at an evening of semi-pro, packed house professional wrestling, Shawn is still one of the more entertaining things of the evening? At an entertaining event.
Yeah, I think that's just his nature.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, because he was trying to get the crowd involved. Our table was a little ruckus at times.
I thought everybody was pretty respectful.
Respectful, but we were yelling.
No, we definitely got into it. What was your favorite part of the night? I mean, Moondog as a whole.
I liked
looking
Moondog.
into the future.
I liked the one guy. I can't remember his first name. Is it Curtis? Maybe Curtis Wild.
Yeah, he's a guy.
I liked Curtis Wild.
He came in. So the radio. So it was at the time. It was CBS Sports 920. There he is. When we would do our evening show, he would come in and was a frequent guest on the Brothers on Whatever. I believe it was a Monday night show, or they had a few different nights. But he would come in and he seemed kind of outlandish. And then seeing him in his craft, working it out, that was fun.
It was.
Yeah, he got out there. He won his match.
Yeah, against 2.0.
2.0, a much more athletic and shapely gentleman.
They do
boy, they have themes, don't they?
They have. They've kind of taken that Family Feud formula where it pits
What would that be?
Pits the black family versus the white family. And
They made no bones about it. There was every single match was black versus white. Maybe the finals weren't.
I missed the last match.
Okay.
I think
95% of the matchups were black versus white.
Yeah.
And there was a mixed crowd.
Most certainly.
Yeah. It was diverse.
Yeah, this wasn't one way. I mean, it was all over the place. I remember seeing a couple of bikers in there. Mm-hmm. They were wearing their colors.
Oh, they were real bikers. Yeah. At first I was like, oh, that's nope. Those are real. There were.
Oh yeah. That's why it was an interesting crowd, as you can imagine. It was good people watching too. I'm sure people were watching me. Like, what the hell's this guy doing here? But still quite enjoyable.
It was, and I'm fairly sure I'm going to go back in the next months, not years, months.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll definitely go back.
That's a good group outing.
I think maybe tomorrow we'll try and do a Travu with Travis on it.
Yeah, Travis was his jaw hit the ground a few times.
He missed the national anthem. Surprise, surprise.
No surprise there. We had to.
Oh, I was out in the hall. Oh, huh.
Kneel on one knee,
yeah,
probably.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it works. At the end of the day, it was a fun time. Mm-hmm. No turning your nose up at this. Now, if you are a hard and true wrestling fan, I could see you having some issues with it. But there were some athletic moves. I remember one of the dudes threw a kick, and I couldn't even help it. I sounded like a jacket. I just go, well, that was a nice kick. Mm-hmm. It was very
did the sound
very
did
good
it make
form.
A sound?
What sound did I make?
No, did it make a good sound? Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled it just right.
I think that's
he didn't. He could have killed the guy the way he kicked. It was a good kick.
That's the key in wrestling. It's not even necessarily if it's effective or not, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's does the sound sell what you're trying to
pushing
intimate, I guess.
Yeah. Did you feel like they did a good job of that?
Yeah, there were a couple good slaps, like chest slaps.
Yeah, it would be so easy to bash on them and just be like, oh, yeah, this is stupid, this is fun. I'm like, they are in a ring.
You're going there to have fun.
Yeah,
right?
And I mean, every one of those guys is.
You're going there to critique. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, let's get you. Maybe go to the Muni.
Just have fun.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where if you were there and earnestly, now making fun and jeering, that's part of it. If you were there and earnestly critiquing and being negative about any aspect or judging any of the other folks in attendance, earnestly, jump off a cliff. Like you're not here for the rest of us, right?
I did find out after the fact that Shawn ended up down there while his wife was at another event over at River City Casino. We had to explain to him what it was at the bar. But so Sean's at wrestling. His wife was at Australia's Thunder from Down Under.
Do you think they're kaput? Do you think they're kaput below the waistline?
We explained to him. He's like, "What is it?" And we're telling him. He's like, "Oh my god." He's like, "I didn't know it was that." And I go, "Are you upset now or something?" He's like, No, she's gonna be all worked up. I'm gonna go home and lock the door. Like, I gotta work tomorrow.
He's what? What? How does that affect work?
Oh, he's like,
So
I just want to go to bed.
So she was gonna come home amorous.
That's what he was worried about.
And he's not having it. I think it's a good time to tell you about Gateway Powder Coating. GatewayPowderCoat.com is their website. I'll tell you about them. You know what? Mark and the gang take good care of us, so you need to take care of them by utilizing them for any of your powder coating needs. Maybe you've got a smoker. Oh, that's right, smoker. Anything metal, if you can paint it, you can powder coat it. They'll touch it up for you. It'll last longer. It'll look better. You won't be having those barbecues with a rusty-ass grill. You don't want to do that. Don't let your metal be ruined by moisture, heat, or other unsavory circumstances. Gateway Powder Coating protects your metal. Be sure to support them because, again, they support us. I've told you the website, but you can actually stop by if you're in the O'Fallon area. Gardner, you've been there. With hours from Monday through Friday and then even Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can hit them up, 1500 Progress West Lane in O'Fallon. Only closed on Sunday. Always there for you. That's Gateway Powder Coating.
I was in O'Fallon yesterday.
What'd you do?
It was a
Went
little
to a
stop off
pro wrestling match.
to see my mom and dad, and then headed out to Moscow Mills.
What's in Moscow?
That's where my brother lives. That's where my little brother lives.
I feel like that's one of Trump's favorite towns.
Yeah, I'm sure he does well out that way.
Mm.
So went there. We grilled, and we visited with my brother and his wife, and I got to meet my new niece for the first time.
Holy cow, this is a big day.
I sang a little lullaby to her.
You did?
I wanted to make sure she was, because I know my brother's into the, as I call it, faux country music that is currently out there.
The Florida Georgia line?
Maybe not them, but...
They posted a picture in Blues jerseys
saw
over the
that,
weekend.
yeah.
And I almost typed things like 3 times, but then I was like, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with the Blues.
Respond. I don't know what where the Florida Georgia line is, but I'm sure you've crossed it.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. So I know that that's his taste in music. So I didn't get to hold her because she was basically
because I'm a monster.
Yeah, they don't trust me. She got her carte blanche onesie though. So
do we have a photo of that? Well, we've seen it before.
Yeah, I've showed that, and
shout out to By Jack.
Thought I was surprising my brother some, and he just like, yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I'm like, you're on Twitter? He's like, I kind of lurk.
He lurks.
I'm like, what's your? He's like, I don't even remember what my name is on there, but he's like, I don't put it out there because of work. And he's like,
is he being too cautious?
He's got like some like, I think it's like he's got something, a word in there that's. He doesn't want publicized. I can't. Was it fellatio or something like that? He had some play on words, and he didn't want. Yeah, but he didn't want it, I guess, out there for work purposes. So
blowjob boy 6'9", 420.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe pick a different handle.
Yeah, that's what I could have told him. So I went out and visited her. Did sing a little lullaby to her. But I wanted to make sure that. I was letting them know we're going to introduce her to certain types of music. There will be the Rolling Stones. I think that needs to be early on. I believe.
Now, they didn't make your 40th playlist, 40th birthday, or did they?
They did, because I had Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh, that's right.
Right at the end next to John Prine, When I Get to Heaven, so kind of opposing there. But I sung, I'd say, hey, you need some Arcade Fire out here soon. And then I was like, let me sing her a little Radiohead. And so my grandma was holding her at the time.
No.
And I just go, I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. And then my grandma's like, Christopher, and like turned away from me. Turned like the baby away from me at that point.
Right.
But I sung it very sweetly. I think that's the thing.
I think that's the important thing to note.
It's not the words at that point. It's
Right.
just, it's the tone.
Right.
And I thought the tone was sweet and lullaby-ish. And then we grilled, and then my brother, like the first time I ever shot a gun was at my brother's place.
When was this?
This was several years ago.
Right.
It was a 9mm handgun. And he's like, do you want to, I got some new ones. Do you want to go out back and then do, shoot at some targets? And I'm like, well, I don't know. He's like, what are you afraid of? I go, well, I mean, are they going to be banned soon? I'm like, what do you got here? Because I'm like,
you don't want to be like, you don't want to get swept in under the rug in this. If they come for everybody's guns.
I
or
don't
something.
need pictures. I'm like,
Gotcha.
I mean, how's this going to work? And I live in the city, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is my progressive Democrat card going to get pulled with whatever?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I just at least got to keep.
When do you swing back to? Because you used to not identify.
It's going to be a while.
Okay, gotcha. Because you used to literally just keep a foot in both streams,
Yeah.
whichever was more advantageous to you.
Yeah, of course, agenda driven.
Mm-hmm.
The current administration is.
They've taken it a certain way.
You got to back off for a while.
Right.
So that's just how. We'll revisit it maybe in 4 to 6 years.
It'll be brought to the. I'd say, I was gonna say 4 to 6 probably is right.
Yeah.
Because there's a chance you might get some more time.
If that's the case, then we'll revisit it maybe in 20 years.
20 years. Wow. Man.
You got to make a statement.
Yeah.
You got to send a message.
That's
then.
true. I think they're taking note, and they'll care about that.
So you got to know. So we ended up doing that, and I shot like a 12 gauge shotgun.
You shot a 12 gauge this weekend.
Yes.
And here, me attending a country-ish concert last night.
I thought of
was
you.
not the.
I was like,
was
is
not
this
the
what
most
it's like growing up in Farmington?
I'll tell you what. I have taken girls I've dated, in one instance in particular, who had never shot a gun, and we're not. I mean, we have guns, but it's not like a thing. Like, I'm no expert. I couldn't take it apart. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a hobby. They were there. I would go hunting for birds sometimes. Done some hunting, right? Nothing really. Target practice is fun. Not the roast segment. But they're available, right? You can go unlock them, get them out of the thing. And I took her. I'm thinking one girl in particular. I took her, and she shot a gun for the first time. And she's extremely progressive, and looking at, like, basically looked at guns like, why would you ever need that and want it? Two pulls of the trigger. Loving life, and was genuinely just filled with joy, having fun. There is something about it. It's fun, shooting targets, doing whatever. Yeah. But seeing her flip immediately, like, okay, I kind of get it.
Well, my brother and I actually did debate it a little bit, because I was, we walked out there and I go, oh, what you got Dana Lash out here? What's going on? I mean, and he's just shaking.
Dana's back.
He's just shaking his head at me. I'm
right.
like, oh, I don't feel right if she's not here, Matt. What are we gonna? And I was, making comments.
Giving him trouble. Yeah.
We actually did talk some about it though, because I'm like, and he understood.
I've been around.
I think like I was like, so what's this magazine? What does this hold? And what's this one hold?
Well,
and I was like, do you really need one that holds 25?
Yeah.
And he's like, I can see where that's coming from. So we discussed it some.
There's discussion.
What he does have that is maybe even more fun for me, he's got a cart out there on his property. So
a cart?
Like it's like a
bullpen cart?
Electric cart.
Like getaway cart sells?
It's an older one.
Got it. Well, it's his get around.
Yeah, get around the property cart thing. So I was the one riding around in that.
That's pretty fun.
I would go back and reset the targets and such that.
Right.
So that was my thing. I'm like, I'll be back. Anybody need a lift? Took my uncle down there, gave him a ride back. Bullpen cart. That was a little fun.
That's a big moment for
Grandpa was even out there with us.
Wait, hang on.
In his late 80s.
When you were driving Grandpa, did he say?
He did not get in the cart with me.
Fence post. Ditch. Up on the left.
There were no signs, so
Okay.
there was nothing for him to necessarily read at this point.
Okay, gotcha.
But he was out there with us, so it was a nice time.
Yeah, that is too, because you get away to, you don't realize it. Even I know you. Would you say you love the Central West End where you live?
Yes.
You love living where you live.
Yeah.
You don't realize it, even if you love the neighborhood you live in or anything else. Just the difference in noise and how loud vehicles are in a city setting.
Mm-hmm.
That happens every time. I don't hate living in Tower Grove, but I also don't realize how much all the noise and just
That's
everything
weird
affects
for you too.
It's
Do
consistent.
you go back to Farmington
Oh, it's
and,
amazing.
and your head's on a swivel?
Oh no. That chills me out. Sends me into relax mode. That's right.
That's weird.
Yeah. Super quiet.
So
but then you get like a coyote yipping, and then I do go grab
Okay,
a gun
that's what I'm
and
wondering.
think they're in the front yard
They're
and they're
here.
miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it puts you into a chill tone.
Yeah, for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get anxious at some point. I'm like, all right, get me back.
I need to be able to walk to a bar to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, I just need to be somewhere. I need to have something going on around me. It's just that's why that's not for me. Living that way is not necessarily for me.
Yeah.
But in doses, it's good for you.
Oh my gosh. No,
And
that's my point.
And that's
Yeah.
what it should be for. And I would recommend that to anyone that lives in the city. You can't just.
Highly. Yeah.
It's once you insulate yourself, and I have issues with that. I think where I
Mm-hmm.
just get on my island, and my island though does include Forest Park nearby, so that's
True.
nice.
Yeah.
But you'll lack perspective. You'll lack a lot of things if you don't branch out some and make yourself uncomfortable even.
And it's so subtle you don't realize it.
Yeah, it's not a vacation, but it's a vacation for a moment. Just hey,
Right.
let's change the pace a little. You can get back to it, but it's nice to be able to bounce back and forth with different things. Having that variety is nice.
Now, at what point did you? I'm trying to think. Did you ride any bulls? Were there any?
No, he
Did
doesn't
you chase
have
any pigs? Like they do. Like in like
My dad-
son-in-law is the perfect example. You know, like all the tropes of city boy in the country.
Well,
whatever.
here's-
Like,
here-
did you chase a greased-up pig? Like,
No, nothing like that. But there was a. Here's like what you do out there. My dad's like, "Hey, let's take a ride." I'm like, "All right, where are we going?" He's like, "Oh, they built a new barn down here." So we went and looked at the new barn. That was something we did. That was like a big deal. Yeah, they built
that
the new
is
barn.
a big deal. And then you go and you're like, there it is.
And I'm like, oh, that's nice. But the guy was building his own lake too,
Oh,
apparently.
that's nice.
And had like a rubber bottom to it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I guess there's a reason for all that, but I don't understand it. I don't know.
The lake has a rubber bottom?
Yeah.
Is that normal?
I don't think so.
I don't.
I think something.
Unless I don't realize.
The lake was
like a
there.
plug?
Apparently, something happened
Oh,
to it,
okay.
so he's putting like a rubber
They've
bottom,
repaired it.
and now they're refilling it or something like that. Or I don't know. I'm making this up as I
There's
go.
been some hot pond talk, and I do want to shout out Getaway Carts. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
They've got customized golf carts. Maybe
get my
Gardner's
brother a new one.
That's right. You can get a customized one at getawaycarts.com is the website. You can see their full inventory, where it's available. They're located right here in the city, and they're great supporters of ours, so you support them. That's Getaway Carts, everybody. Also, I think we mentioned it last week, but officially, the great Dr. Ed from Hillside Animal Hospital is on for the rest of the year, so you can be sure to keep tuning in for Dogs on Film every Wednesday. Hillside Animal Hospital is where I take my pets. You should take yours as well. Great resources, wonderful services, very accredited. Gardner, I know accreditation
Yeah,
is
close.
big for you. Many services available for your pets, preventative care, advanced diagnostics, and even medical and surgical treatment. Support Hillside Animal Hospital as they support us. Should we do a comedy announcement maybe tomorrow? We've got a couple things to announce on that end that are official now. So I'm excited about that. I know people have been looking forward to it. We'll also have comedy this Thursday, and the venue will be announced, we'll just say tomorrow as well. So I know that's big on your to-do list, Gardner.
Oh, it's nice to hear.
Oh, it certainly is, yeah. Got to keep that stuff moving. Other things from the weekend, sir.
I'll tell you what I did. Another thing I did do. I finished off the exhibit at the Missouri History Museum.
I think I saw you tweeting about that, and two parts. One, I was like, he's still going? He's back?
Mm-hmm.
And the second part was, why don't I go to things like that?
Well, you could.
Still can. Is
Yeah.
it free?
Yes.
I'm a
it's
worthless
free.
sack of
See,
uneducated fool.
I went through the Pulitzer Prize photography part last week or the weekend before. This past weekend, I went through the St. Louis Post-Dispatch photos exhibit. That's kind of side exhibit with it.
Right.
To get in, there's a few more things I wanted to get in. Now there was some photos that stuck out, and this one from 1944.
Oh, thanks. I thought you were going to show me another woman with a baby being cut out.
No.
And no human centipede. Oh, we've got Chris Gardner as a child.
Yes,
in the
look
photo.
at that kid there.
That's what's he holding?
It might be a beer bottle. I don't know. It's probably a soda bottle.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Everything was glass.
But
back
he's got
then.
a cigarette in his left hand.
He does, and he's holding it like a pro.
Yeah. I think this was at the Streetcar Series, actually, the World Series between the Browns and Cardinals
Really?
at Sportsman's Park. I think. Now, I know it was that year, but kind of a side note, that the panel I went to see a couple weekends ago that had Post-Dispatch photographers discussing things, the grandson of the gentleman with the cigarette was in the crowd at that panel.
Really?
And they had him stand up and everything.
That's pretty great.
And so I was like, oh, God, I kind of want to talk to this guy. Like, what was your grandfather like? Because I think I want to know him if he's around still. So, but it was, I like this one because you have some kids you can see that are just posing for the camera.
Right.
The kid in the sailor cap. Very intense.
Yeah.
Very intense, as is the kid in front of him, but a little cooler with the cigarette in his hand.
With the cigarette in the upside down soda bottle. So there is there's a St. Louis Browns pennant somebody's holding. If you were a baseball fan, who the hell's rooting for the Browns?
Well, it's like being a Mets fan, right?
I guess, yeah.
Or a White Sox fan.
Yeah, I
these
guess.
days. I don't know.
Unless you had business ties to them or something, I don't know.
Yeah. And there was like some saying that involved St. Louis. It was like booze, something else, and then first in booze, first in something else, and then last in the American League was like the saying for
for the Browns.
For like St. Louis or something. There was another one. Okay. Grandparents were alive. Grandma.
If you're watching, I have to do this because I saw my hair. And I have to make an adjustment.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. I'll continue as you do so. I asked Grandma and Grandpa about it yesterday, this next photo. They were alive, but they weren't really old enough to remember. But Grandma had said her grandmother, her mother, had told them her stories about it. This right here is 1939.
That was this morning.
Actually, this is during the day in St. Louis.
Yeah.
This is known as Black Tuesday.
So it's very dark out.
This is from Cole. At one point, St. Louis was rated as the worst air quality in all of the nation.
Oh, this isn't during a storm?
No, this is during the day. And apparently, as you would drive in, like if you drove in from the county, there was a cloud over the city. And once you started getting in, you had to turn on your windshield wipers and your headlights. And it was brutal. And it lasted, like this was the worst of it. But there was an issue for like 9 days, and they eventually started changing regulations and things like that to do something. Because you can't live like this, obviously, or else you won't live. So they did change regulations and things like that. So just maybe to the world as a whole, when you're forced to do something, you can do something, it seems.
That means all
I have to do is go back to 1939. But normally, I guess you don't do something until it really impacts you. That's our selfish nature.
Absolutely. I saw 5,000. The Fox hold 5,000 people, at least.
That sounds about right.
I went to Brandi Carlile last night. Shout out to Joey O for my heterosexual male friend. Messaged me a week ago. He's like, "Hey, you like Brandi Carlile?" I'm like, "Yeah, she's great." He's like, "You want to go?" So the two of us went, and we went, and I watched her silence 5,000 people for an entire song. Nary a whoop, not a snap, nobody doing the thing at church where the second it gets quiet, coughing, or at a funeral when that happens. 5,000 people stayed silent for an entire song. She said, "Hey, this is a special place." She may do this everywhere, but I don't think she could do it everywhere. It's her. There's no drummer. It's her and a set of twins that play. They play various guitars and string stuff. Just the three of them. Best business setup I've ever seen for a band, by the way. You don't have to pay a drum tech or a drum, like all that stuff. So she goes out. She said, "This is a beautiful old building. I'm going to test the acoustics in here. Can you guys play along with me and just be quiet while we do this?" They all stepped away from the microphones and just sang nothing. They just played raw. Heard it throughout the whole place. People were silent. I mean, you could tell, like, people are looking around, like, making sure nobody was chattering or anything. That's a small
they're ready
town.
to judge or chastise.
5,000 people is a small town.
Yeah.
One woman silenced 90% lesbian attendees, but still attendees for that time. And that literally, like, I was like, we are capable of things. That was a weird thing to take from that.
To be silent.
But I was just like, I just watched this happen. By the way, since we're talking about it, I saw more short sleeve button down shirts last night that I needed for my collection.
Were you comfortable?
And these were my people. I stopped like 3 women.
Where'd you get that?
We all had the same haircut. We were vibing, man. Giving compliments.
Did you find a new store possibly?
Oh man, there were some funky things going on in there.
What pattern is that?
Yeah, I said that. This woman
that
had
would
on like
pop on me.
a Hawaiian
you
style.
want to switch shirts?
Like it was new but vintage looking, like 70s looking Hawaiianish. Some kind of, it wasn't a suit jacket, but kind of a suit jacket. Look at that, and I go, "This is fantastic." And I was like, "May I?" And she's like, "Please." I gave it the Costanza feel.
Yeah.
It was at
least you asked.
It was
Nice job.
oh yeah, I'm not putting hands on I'm not putting hands on anybody. But yeah, so Brandi Carlile for sure has a following of a certain type, but it was a great show, unbelievably talented. You ever listen to her?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then
No, she's really good.
to see it at the Fox too. Like that's something. I did like it cuz there's a storytelling aspect where she's like talking about in Seattle how she would literally just like go play coffee houses for free and all that stuff. And the two guys that play with her, they were like punk rock guys that she just got to be in her band. Can you imagine hitching your wagons? That's the
Wonder
the
how
star.
that comes about. That's interesting.
She needed people to play with her. They got along and
Where did she meet him?
in Seattle.
It was in Seattle?
Just dudes from the scene. She's like, "Hey, you want to play with me?" And they had some iterations of their band, and now they're one of the biggest acts in the world.
That is wild.
Right? Did you see her on Stern with the Highwomen?
No. I mean, I've watched
The Chain, the covering Fleetwood Mac?
I've seen that cover.
Oh my gosh.
I saw a video. I think Jason Isbell.
Yeah.
He might have tweeted out a
Jason Isbell's wife is in the Highwomen.
Yeah.
Amanda Shires.
And I've seen some clips of them doing their thing, and I have seen. It wasn't on Stern, but I have seen that or heard their cover of The Chain. Yeah.
Right.
That's a talented group of women.
It's unbelievable. Just crazy. But either way, so last night, unbelievable show. The Fox too, you know, I always know, I mean, obviously you notice the architecture and the walls and everything.
See any ghosts?
I didn't see any ghosts, and I did use the restroom, which is down in the bowels or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
No ghosts, but the staff at the Fox, I guess it's just Fox staff or whoever staffs that. Whatever their protocol is, I think we need a little of that everywhere. Oh my gosh, they're helpful. Welcome to the Fox. Everywhere I'm like, you don't have to say it again. I was just checking.
Chick-fil-A workers here? What?
It's got a quick
pleasure.
trip. It's got a quick trip Chick-fil-A vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier.
That always puts me in a decent mood. It's a small thing like that.
Yes.
It's like, they're here to help me.
Billy Fat Pants
'Cause I need
correcting us. Isbell. I feel so strange.
Yeah.
Isbell. I get it. So. Jason Isbell. So yes, go to the Fox. Gary Clark Jr. is there tonight. There's like $25 tickets available.
He was there this quick.
Man, I love
because he just played at the Blues.
He did
rally or whatever.
I asked the guy from Metro Tix. I was like, "Does that screw you up?" He's like, "No." It's like these people that come to a Blues game for this, they have no idea.
Yeah,
they're there for hockey. He's like, they're whatever. But I highly recommend that, and especially too in Grand Center where our office is at. when there's a big show like that, you forget 5,000 people in a small area is a lot. No, like I had to walk like a decent amount. I parked at Washington and Spring. Yeah, that's out of the comfort zone for some folks. Yeah. No, it makes you realize like, oh, makes St. Louis feel like a real city whenever things like that.
I would scooter down there.
That I was a little bit, I thought about that, and it was only like a 3-block walk, but
I don't think
scootering would have been smart.
Last time I went, because I went earlier this year for Waitress. That's right. Waitress is what it was.
You sure you want to tell people that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Not a big musical guy. Yeah. I don't really get into musicals too much. Although I said that and I saw Evil Dead, and that was enjoyable.
I think the first time I was ever at the Fox, I think I was 6. I think. I saw David Copperfield there. Met him afterwards, got his autograph. It's somewhere.
The Magician?
Yeah, The Magician. I went and saw.
So that was my first time at the Fox, was David Copperfield.
How old were you?
Not you. I wouldn't have been alive if you saw him when you're 6. I feel like I was
maybe
like
I was
9 or
older.
10.
Well, I wasn't that old.
You weren't that old?
No, I was young.
However old I was, they had video set up, and I went with my grandparents, and it was like a retirement group from the bank, right? And it was like me and like somebody else's grandkid were the youngest people there, right? And the big finale trick was him, what do you call it, teleporting to Las Vegas. That was his finale trick. And it's cool to watch a guy disappear off the stage, however they do that. But then popping up on a pre-recorded video in Las Vegas with, like, that's, like, Vince McMahon wouldn't even try that. He'd be like, I don't know, man. That's pushing it just a little bit too much. But that's what I remember from that, and it was the first time I ever went to the Fox.
I cherished that autograph for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a big Magic guy?
No. It was just, I was fascinated with him, though, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, plus he did well. He got a attractive woman at one point in life. And
favorite Magic trick, go. Don't think.
Oh, I like watching David Blaine freak people out when he levitates.
What's the trick behind that?
I don't remember.
Optical illusion?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I like that one.
You like
I like watching people run away from him and, you're the devil.
I was in Forest Park yesterday. Spent most of the time looking for a shirtless gardener riding a scooter with his locks flowing through the air.
I was not in the park yesterday. I was there the day before. But you mentioned the scooter. I will tell this little tale. I was on my way to the History Museum on Saturday, and I was scooting. I was on a bird, and I kind of slowed down.
I like how you get just a slight air of hipness when you say that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was slowing down to take a turn, and there was a couple of kids riding scooters as well. You're teenagers. Mm-hmm. They look to be like freshman, sophomore age. And I was going slow enough where they were stopped, and I guess they were confused. They're not in the park a lot. And they said, "Excuse me, sir? And so I stopped, and I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And they're like, do you know how to get to the zoo? They hit you with the
sir, though.
They give me a sir. Mm-hmm. I'm 40 now.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you know how to get to the zoo? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm trying to, what I try to do when giving directions in the park, even to anyone, is...
Now stop at the old oak tree.
Well, yeah, kind of.
You'll see it. If you see a groundhog hole, it's too far.
You're not using street names with them when you're trying to maybe give directions in the park. So I'm like, you're going to curve around the hatchery. You're going to come up and kind of bend around.
Okay.
And I go, I'll tell you what. Do you guys just want to follow me?
Get out of here.
And they're like, sure.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thanks. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, follow me. So I took them to the back entrance of the zoo. Not the one closer to Hampton, but I had them follow me. And I think, and I did tweet this out, I think that's the beginning of a scooter gang.
You think so?
I think I've started an electric scooter gang.
Did you guys exchange Facebooks or numbers?
No, but it was so organic that I just feel it's going to happen again. That it was meant to be. And that the River de Paris Scooter Club might have been born on Saturday. And I'm looking forward to see where this takes us now. Because, and I'm hoping that later this week to have a package delivered. Because yesterday, I made a purchase.
Oh, no. No, you didn't.
Online.
No, you didn't. Wait. There's no music or nothing? You haven't prepared anything?
No.
You're a humble guy. You made a purchase.
I purchased my own electric kick scooter. I purchased through Voro Motors what is called the Emove Touring. It's got
more like C-Move Touring, ain't that right?
Little suspension on it. These scooters you can probably take a little bit off-road, some too. But I purchased it. So I'm hoping this week at some point to have a electric kick scooter delivered to my apartment door. And
Wait.
we begin a new era.
What is your...
So I
have so many questions.
I made the purchase. I've been waiting. I've been researching for a month and a half, looking things over, because I'm not at the extreme high end of purchasing, but it's going to be it's a good scooter. It's a good scooter. I've been on Reddit forums. I've been checking security. I've been checking upkeep to go along with what I want personally. But I've also been looking into, all right, what do I have to do to take care of the thing? What do I have to do? How do I secure it necessarily? What kind of options does that leave me? So I'm going to get a U-lock here soon.
Oh, a U-lock.
Mm-hmm.
So you lock them outside?
You can, but the scooter will fold up. The handlebar will come down.
So you got to bring it in.
In the office, I'm just going to roll it in up the elevator, and we'll have it in the office and just
on display.
Yeah,
right. I'll use it as a sales tool.
You could.
Do you see the success that we're breeding here at Midcoast Media?
I would let Tommy ride it, but I've seen him on one before, and I know that he's crashed one before too.
That's trouble.
And I don't know if he might have to train.
Do you get scooter insurance? How does that work?
No. I guess, I could.
Talk to Seymour.
Yeah. Well, he is my insurance agent. So.
There it is. So wait, so you pulled the trigger on the scooter purchase?
Yes. You know what I'll try to do for tomorrow?
What this ends is you get a tattoo of a scooter. Like this, there is no... now I'm upset that I didn't get this sponsored.
Well, maybe
now I'm upset.
Maybe the tattoo is, once we have it finished, the River to Pear Scooter Club logo.
Okay. Much like Jerry West is the logo, I need an outline of you with your helmet on and some hair flowing.
Kind of doing
and you
a
can
turn.
have a turn maybe into that. Is that the
looking
most,
at the camera while doing a turn?
Is that the most athletic move you make on a scooter?
No, because it's a lot of lower body weight controlling it. That's how you turn those things, man. You're not using the handlebars to turn a scooter. It's lower weight control.
Black Sheep messaged he purchased a pizza cooker that gets up to 1,000 degrees and it cooks a pizza in a minute. He thinks that his purchase was much more responsible than your scooter purchase.
Well, that's your responsible is the key word there. I was looking at the Emove Touring.
Do you have a photo? Can I do a live read and you find one?
I didn't have. Here's what I'll do tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll see.
Shawn in the comments is needing a photo.
It might not be the exact scooter, but it'll be the same, basically. Here's what I've learned.
What's the model? I'm going to find a link.
Okay, it is called, you'll want to go to Voro Motors. That's where I purchased it through. It's called the Emove Touring. It's similar to what the Turbo Wheel one is, if folks are really researching these things right now. The Turbo Wheel, there's also the 08. The 08 was actually an option for me at one point. There was
$899?
Yeah.
Foldable, portable, electric scooter. Comes in stealth black.
That's the one I got.
I wish Travis was here so we could come up with a new character named Stealth Black.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be in the room. That's the rule.
Call Stealth Black. It sounds like what the military calls it.
Ships from Chicago, 2 to 4 days, transit to all parts of the U.S.
Yeah.
So you'll be scooting here by Wednesday.
It was nice. Well, we'll see. I never take shipping for granted.
You learned that. We learned that here, didn't we? Boy, I see why FedEx is still like, hey.
I should have had them just ship it here.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it does require a signature. That's what I was worried about. I was like, oh, man, I got to make sure.
Yeah.
I got to keep track of these updates to make sure I'm home when this baby comes. Because I don't need them leaving it outside of the apartment building. That would not be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that The shipping, I believe, does have insurance with it.
That's
so.
what I was gonna say. Like, so when they deliver this, like, this isn't gonna, like, you're not gonna have it stolen before you ever.
Yeah, the shipping, I believe, does have insurance with it. So I'm excited. I'm actually a little nervous, like, because part of it is because I've been.
Now you're a guy who's you don't treat the limes and the birds with disrespect.
No,
You're a daily
I
rider.
don't do that.
You're a daily rider. That's weird to me whenever people do that. And by the way, also there's something going on outside of the trade. There's a lot of folks just getting off of transit, right? But there's a lot of folks sleeping there as well. I'm guessing it's a symptom of the Larry Rice Center being gone. But there were so many scooters there, and they had obviously been thrown out into the road and stuff too.
Oh, really?
I just don't. Now, mentally ill, that's one thing, but I don't understand why we're gonna beat the hell out of some scooters.
Yeah, because
sans teenagers just do things.
I want people to enjoy them. So why would I treat them with such disrespect and disregard?
Right. So I guess my point was, like, just because it's yours, you're not gonna treat it. Maybe you'll treat it better, I guess, but I mean, you just have to
I do
more.
a pretty good job,
Yeah.
even with the ones I only took them off road sometimes, and that was actually out of etiquette. Like, say I had to go on the sidewalk for a moment, and you're not supposed to ride them on the sidewalk.
Oh yeah.
But I would have to go on the sidewalk at times to get around something. But then if I see someone walking, like in Forest Park, I would just curve off into the grass and go around, and then pop back on the sidewalk and then get in the bike lane. So, like, I'll be on the sidewalk from time to time. But if it got down to it, like, there's been several times where I'm like, oh, I'm on the sidewalk and there's people walking, I just get off and walk it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's kind of a jerk move to stay on the sidewalk and be buzzing by people, because you don't know. They could drop something and bend down, and the chicken wing comes out, and then everyone's in trouble. Like, so that has to stop. That kind of stuff just.
Meredith Hopping, a local comedian, letting me know there's a weird bang thing happening with my hair, and she's upset Tommy's not in the room to fix
Get
that.
Tommy down here, stat, to fix whatever's going on here.
So what happens when I don't put product
Bang
on?
Mondays.
It's got a life of its own.
We all on board, Walnuts? I forgot to say good morning to the Walnuts.
That's right.
Happy Bang Monday. Right?
Sounds like a good time to thank St. Louis Counseling Services.
Tom Duff will appreciate that.
Tom Duff always appreciates it. I was jealous of Tom Duff. He was posting online that he's excited for football season because he's a Bears fan. He's an Illinois guy, and I don't have a team that I can get excited for and be let down by eventually. St. Louis Counseling Services, stlouiscounseling.org, online. If you're a business, individual, any type of organization, he can help you set up counseling services for your organization or just any individual that you know. That's stlouiscounseling.org, online. And if you want to donate, if you want to check out their services, just check out the website and also listen to their podcast. We produce it here, Mental Health Matters. They speak to all kinds of different people, and they break down the stigma of mental health. That's St. Louis Counseling Services, partnering with We Are Live and Midcoast Media on all kinds of fun stuff. So it's on. It's officially on.
Yeah.
You own a scooter. I've put a link to the scooter in the comments of the live stream if you guys want to check that out. Remind me, by the way, so we'll go a little short today, obviously, but remind me, do you want to take a break or do we just want to go long?
Let's just go long.
Okay, let's go long. I have some information to share with you, but I want to talk scooters a little bit more. Owning your own scooter, at what point does it get in the way a little bit? Is there always somewhere to put it, or is it just planning ahead? I'm trying to think. Because if you go to IKEA, you don't want to lug it around the whole time, but it's small enough, maybe you could stick it in the cart. You also don't go to IKEA much, I assume.
No, I go there every once in a while.
Okay. Because you're not going to scoot it through the store.
Number one, it is close.
Correct.
To me. And I knew it was close to me the day it effing opened, when newscopters were hovering over it at 5 o'clock in the morning, because St. Louis becomes a cow town and something like that and celebrates. I'm sure IKEA, I think partially that news coverage was paid for.
I think so too.
All you had to do was go to every news website that day locally and notice that the entire pages were paid for by IKEA.
Right.
And you could start seeing how, okay, something's going on here. Now, you do have to think ahead. But I'm also like, there's certain security measures for it in terms of shutting it off and things like that.
Yeah,
And-
'cause
and
I
you're gonna
even-
have like you'll see and looking
People get their
at-
mopeds stolen. They're
Right.
like heavy and hard to steal.
right. So I mean, you can.
This thing you could throw in a backpack.
It's hard to fight completely against that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
Oh, you treat it.
perfect way to secure it.
Right.
But that's what. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So you just try to find the ways to do so. That's why I'm going to have to do a U-lock with it if I'm going to park it somewhere. What I will try to do is take it in with me as much as I can, but I also don't want it to be in the way of like what I've already been looking at places in the local watering hole. Like, okay, I can probably put it behind my table.
Right.
If
Is
I'm
there a
sitting there.
business? Is there, and maybe this is a portable thing, but is there an opportunity if you start some kind of trend? You're a trendsetter. If you turn this into something,
Scooter lockers.
scooter locker. I was going to call them scooter garages, portable scooter garage. Do we need to look into that? It's almost like, with the cell phone things.
If there's
They've got
enough. Actually, that might work somewhere like San Francisco, where they're all over the place.
and there's, yeah.
Like they even design them now specifically for their demographic in that city. Because you'll see there's
So like in the South, it's got a little more of a weight
'cause
distribution thing.
Yeah.
We're a little heavier in the
And actually,
Midwest and in the
it
South.
says the max weight on the scooter I purchased is 265. Actually,
Oh, that'll keep you in shape.
which actually has more. That's a little more weight allowed than a lot of them are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See,
Than what they say.
I think around St. Louis. I think
Now, if you're up
it needs
there,
to be
You
300.
kind of work the battery a little harder.
Okay.
It-
I was
it
gonna
won't last
say.
as long
Yeah.
as
That's always the measure for bigger guys that gain weight easy, like myself. If you get over 265, that means you would not be eligible to fight against Brock Lesnar in a heavyweight title fight. That's always the ooh boy,
That's trouble.
put that down. That's always the thing where you like see these guys on TV, like heavyweight UFC fighters cannot weigh more than 265 pounds day of the match or before the match for weigh-ins. So you see these behemoths and you're like, whoa, they're huge, and then it's, oh, I weigh more than them. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a problem. That's like Orlando Pace back before I lost some weight. Slapping me, be like, "What's up, Big Chris?" I'm like, "Orlando Pace just called me Big Chris." Orlando Pace.
He's not
Hall of
supposed to
Fame
call
champ.
me
You don't
big.
call anyone big. That was a wake-up call. That was a, all right, maybe not so much sugar. Let's at least trim down a little bit.
Oh, sugar. There it is.
Yeah, well, it is a day that ends in Y, my
Who
friend.
had 858
Yeah.
in the Walnuts pool.
Yeah, that's true. You know who else I met with Friday? He lived on an island. He provides fresh food throughout St. Louis.
Oh, really?
Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. That's right. We love Buzz. You will too. Be sure to check out his food truck. Locations, hotspots, if you will, on the Facebook page. They're all throughout town. Highly recommend the Poke Bowl. Go spicy. Maybe even get some musubi. Musubi? Musubi. I think it was one of those things where I've been saying musubi, and then I was with Buzz, and I think he pronounced it musubi. So now I'm really feeling inadequate about one of my favorite foods from his food truck. Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. They're all around town, or bug him for catering. Delicious food, fresh, and what are you giggling at?
I just thought so.
And again, it hasn't aired yet, but I will be receiving my first IMDb credit for my
that's right.
star appearance on Food Truck Nation, in which Buzz is heavily featured, thanks in part to me. I had nothing to do with that. It was funny, though, whenever I was doing the interview stuff, which I could look like a total idiot, by the way. Like, who knows how they edit that stuff. But they did, like, oh, no, sit down, let's talk, because of the other folks that were around. And I didn't tell them what I did, like, talked for a living. But they were like, you really know a lot about this truck. This is interesting.
Did you just go into the live read?
Basically. It's
gonna be awkward.
I was like, it's family owned. That's his daughter up there with him. They're, are you serious? Whoa. So either they were playing me or I played them and they didn't
I
realize.
hope that part is, because that's going to be so.
Oh.
Either that or
You
you're
will-
just in the background
You'll
with
throw
your mouth
something at the
open
TV.
like,
Just looking like
yeah,
a
just
moron.
looking around. Either that or your live read on a show that
Right.
has some potential there.
Yeah.
No, you were mentioning mispronouncing
I'm going to
food.
charge him extra for that if they run it.
Like, yeah, invoice. Mispronouncing food. Look, we were grilling kebabs, burgers, and bratwurst at my brother's. But my uncle, he brought his own dish. And he's in town visiting from South Korea.
Like he brought a dish to share?
Yeah, a dish to share.
I thought
but
he's one of these dickheads who brings his own meal to the family thing. A lot of time you see that with, I've seen that with significant others that happen to be women that would bring, like, they wouldn't eat what was there. They would only eat what they brought, and that was a really strange thing.
No, he was eating everything.
Got it.
Everyone was. Except
now, this is your well-traveled.
Yeah, that's
what's
the
he
thing.
do for a living?
He works for the embassy, the U.S. Embassy.
Not Embassy Suites.
In South Korea.
The hotel chain.
He'll be moving soon, though.
Okay.
We'll
He's
see
been
where
in
he
South
goes.
Korea for a while.
He could be in Peru next. He could be in Italy next.
Can you imagine working
Egypt,
for an embassy
possibly.
in Italy?
He doesn't want Egypt.
Yeah.
He's tired of hot spots.
Yeah.
Because he's lived in, like, Haiti and Afghanistan. He was telling us some...
Can we put the guy in Italy?
Yeah, that I know.
Can we
talk
put
about,
him in Italy?
Talk about wanting to go visit him all of a sudden.
You've earned it, Uncle.
Oh, go live in Rome, and you will have me there, knocking on the door of the Vatican, demanding to be in that library like you wouldn't believe. But he likes worldly food too, and so the thing was he was making something, but
pork steaks don't cut it far.
I knew what it was. No, he likes that stuff, but it's like he'll bring something else. Like we'll go to brunch, and my grandparents are comfortable with getting, eggs, toast, biscuits and gravy or whatever. But he's like, if I get down here again and it's you and me, maybe we can go get like some Indian food, something hot, something spicy.
Yeah.
Because that's not them. That's not their pace necessarily.
Right.
But he likes different things. And so he was making a dish, and he's made it before, and he's made it for me. And I like it. And I don't do like seafood or fish or that a whole lot. It's
not your thing.
No. But he makes a dish.
You're a menthol and a cup of coffee kind of guy.
And I think it's Spanish, kind of Spanish, but I think he was even saying yesterday it kind of started in Peru or something. It's called ceviche. And it's a tuna dish, but it's like marinated in lemon juice or something, or lime juice or something like that. And then he'll put mangoes in it and stuff like that. So it's got all this stuff, some cilantro and all this, and I actually like it. Plus, anything like that, I'll put sriracha on it these days. It's kind of, he's like, yeah, I go through sriracha. So it's just weird because you mentioned mispronouncing food, because no one in my family could tell me what he was bringing. And that I had no idea what he was
Physically,
bringing.
they weren't able.
And then I realized at one point on the drive out there, like, they're talking about ceviche. They just have no idea how to say it. That's what and I'm like, that's what he's bringing. So it was weird pairing.
As someone who's called La Jolla La Jala more than once, I feel your pain, Gardner family.
So I was just like, I wish I knew what he was bringing, because I'd like to kind of know. I was trying to plan out my head how what each plate was going to look like on my way. I'm like, what am I going to start with? What's the second plate? Am I going to go in for cheesy potatoes right away, the casserole?
Right.
Or am I going to wait for the second plate? Do I go with the meats first? So then once I knew he was bringing, because I was in the back of the car, I'm just like, oh, he's bringing ceviche. And they're like, my mom's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, Uncle Callan's bringing ceviche, the tuna dish. She's like, yeah, he's bringing a tuna dish. I go, it's called ceviche. You guys haven't been able to say the name right. All you can say now is it's a tuna dish. And then my dad's driving and is like, that reminds me of that tuna casserole. Remember that, Shelly? And she's like, why'd you say it like that? Because my dad hates the tuna casserole.
Sore subject.
I call it poor people's tuna casserole. And it is, because it's like Cheese Whiz and everything.
Oh.
I adore it. I don't want.
No. I need, what is it? Cheese Whiz?
Cheese Whiz.
Come on, man.
No, I love it like that. And I love poor people's tuna casserole. My dad hates poor people's tuna casserole because it reminds him of being so poor.
What's it?
And then my mom takes offense to it.
Grab whatever's in the cabinet?
And she'll be like, well, I'll just make it when you're out of town next time. And then all of a sudden an argument starts.
Oh, no.
So a perfect Gardner car ride, actually,
Yeah, that
on the
is
way
pretty
out
good.
there.
Did you feel like you I don't feel like you did it on purpose, but just given your nature and what you thrive on, do you feel like you didn't mean to, but you caused this? Like you were pulling strings.
Oh, yes.
You can do this. You're a pro now at pulling strings.
Oh,
you can do it in
yeah.
your sleep. Yeah,
I didn't even mean to do this
yeah,
one.
you're just like, well,
I could have said a sentence and had it go.
Right, and then it's throwing a pork chop into 4 hungry dogs.
Yeah, if my mom is like, "You okay up there, Bill?" Like just asking to see how he's doing. My dad's response is, "Yeah, did I do something wrong?" I just right away, and I just start smiling, and I'm like,
you sent a video to my dad from wrestling calling him Lair Bear
Lair
over
Dog.
the weekend. Lair Dog. That's right. There's a video I need to show you, and I can't remember what was on it, so I'm not going to show it live. No, but there's a response. Just remind me to show you the response. So
I don't know if I like that.
No, I think it's going to be good. So we'll have to check that out. So wait,
is he going to threaten me with bears? He's going to threaten me with bears.
Something that happens every once in a while.
That was a big discussion yesterday too, because
you're in the country.
Well, I was kind of asking my brother and then my uncle.
Oh, so by the way, if there's bears in Baldwin, there's bears in Moscow Mills.
Yeah. So, luckily we were armed.
You were protected.
But then, as my brother's pointing out, these kind of, like you'll need this one, the 12 gauge. Like we were also shooting like a 22 rifle as well. That one probably wouldn't do it.
No. They would go.
Yeah, that's what as my brother pointed out. He's like, with a lot of these, maybe any of these that we're out here shooting, they're 10 feet away probably when you have a shot because it is hard. Like
you can't. First of all,
aiming
anybody
those
that watched
is very difficult.
Correct. Anybody that's watched Walking Dead thinks that they can hit targets on the move in a headshot from 50 yards. No, moving targets are extremely hard to hit.
Yeah.
Now, a bear is a bigger target, but you're probably gonna hit it in the shoulder or somewhere it's not gonna mess with it. You're not gonna shoot it through the eye. That's not gonna happen.
And plus, you
couldn't shoot a raccoon quick enough.
You have to imagine the fear that's running through your body at that point.
And before the teeth clamp
and
in
as
the body.
I tell my brother, I go, let's be real. Like, I'm not going to be calm, and I'm not going to be able to just sit there and, like, as it's coming at me, try to hit it. Let's be real. I got no shot. I was like, you know what?
Literally.
Yeah, literally, no shot. Like, even if I was armed, I still die.
If it's a bear?
Yeah.
It depends. What if the bear wants to keep you alive for a couple months in its den?
Yeah, but it'll eventually kill me.
Maybe you're the one that sticks around.
For how many years?
Maybe he keeps you to take care of the others that he brings in, and he just kind of leaves you in a corner. He just leaves you maimed enough. He just leaves you maimed enough. Yeah, king of the...
No arms or legs?
Not really. No, there'll be something there. He's going to need you to kind of corral
nub around
the kids. Yeah, you're going to nub around a little bit. And he might still snack on you, but I think he's going to keep you to make the other people kind of do his bidding a little bit.
Yeah, because then my uncle was like, oh, yeah, I'll show you a bear. I'm like, no, don't show me. He's like, I've seen a couple. I don't want to hear about your bear stories.
Huh. Interesting.
So,
okay.
It led down that path.
Well, it certainly did. What was I going to tell you about? We have a rumor. Hearing gardeners say they were armed with a 22 and a BB gun makes me, a moderate gun owner, feel like Bert from Trimmers.
Yeah.
It's from the Black Sheep.
That was basically...
Oh.
Yeah, because the 22 thing, it just, like, it doesn't even move. There's no movement at all.
No.
So it's that one's, like, more for just
say you're
in the backyard.
Yeah. That's just more to, like, for hillbillies to shoot their neighbor's eyes out with while they're doing target.
It was different going from the 22 to the 12 gauge shotgun, because then that. Yeah. And I didn't have like.
How was your form?
I didn't have ear protection on at that moment, and and my right ear started ringing, and I kind of stopped for a moment, and my brother's like, "Yeah, I probably should have given you ear protection." Yeah, you think? So I waited till shoot again until he brought it back, because I'm like. Because I even looked at my grandpa, and he's, like, holding his ears. I'm like, we're not shooting right now. It's okay, Grandpa. And then the women are inside, like, what the hell are you guys doing out here?
Get back to make the poor people tuna stuff. Hey, Boo Boo, I'm going to put Gardner in my picnic basket. That's from Yogi in the comments. So there's a rumor going around that your friend and disgraced ex-governor Eric Greitens
there's another new one?
is going to put together another run.
For senator?
Republican governor primary. And it's not a joke.
Who is this? Are you reading it somewhere? Or are we hearing this?
We're hearing chatter.
Okay.
We're hearing chatter.
Okay.
Due to some health issues with another guy.
With the current governor?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Well, let's not go into too much of that. But in this crazy mixed up everything, could you see a successful gubernatorial run from your boy, Eric Greitens?
Could I see it? Of course.
Successful.
I wouldn't put anything past it. I mean,
Yeah,
who the
I think
hell
it's real.
knows?
I think it can happen.
Because
Because you just run on, like, I was ran out. Because you just discredit everyone, whatever. Could he
Yeah,
do
but
that?
the thing is,
Weren't there
even
open
getting there-
investigations and stuff with
Well,
the
they had
finances
closed
and-
some things and that.
Okay.
Like that would have to be brought up.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like there's a lot to get through to even get to that point for him.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Just because you can't just say, okay, yeah, this is closed now. No, you have to reopen all that crap and deal with it then. And if you don't, then it's a dereliction of what we've elected you to do.
I just found that to be interesting because the info shared, he was like, I'm not kidding, and it's very real.
It's been there, and I think what people have questioned is whether it's credible or not, and the way you're delivering it to me and where I assume where that's coming from, I find that to be very credible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that anything's going to happen. It just does mean that there's some rallying going on.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That could be a weird race.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of,
because it looks like Nicole Galloway will be running on the Democratic side. It looks like that'll be happening here.
Marcus Hennessy chiming in. Well, Missouri did vote a dead guy into Congress.
Yeah, that did happen.
Now, okay.
Are you going to vote for the other guy?
Yeah. Speaking of races, we had a poll last Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm really upset didn't go viral. I thought it was really, really going to ruffle some feathers. But we did get a...
maybe it was too
on the nose.
Think PC.
Yeah, true. It could have just said, "Who hates him more?"
Yeah.
That's how I should have phrased it. What were the results from the melee? So here's what it was. With the new Popeyes, with the news, Popeyes introducing a chicken sandwich to challenge Chick-fil-A's stranglehold on the market. We ask, of course, naturally.
Chokehold.
Yeah, that's
considering it's a chicken.
Yeah. Whose customers are more homophobic? 45%. Popeyes. See, I don't think people really, because like Chick-fil-A is famous for this now, right? For having the policies and what they support. But I think quietly, Travis was a proponent for this too, saying, man, black community does not support gay folks the way that we'd like to think. But Chick-fil-A takes the chicken, chokes the chicken at 55% of the vote to 45%.
That's still, I know it's 10%,
fair.
but that's still a decent amount voting for Popeyes. Sorry, Popeyes.
Yeah, Popeyes. So maybe people are more aware of the situation than we realize. You think?
Yeah, I actually asked some people, and they're, oh, yeah.
They said that's a formidable matchup. Where you're like, well, I don't know. This guy, Chick-fil-A is the king of this homophobia stuff. And then...
I explained the poll to several black gentlemen that come into Rosie's, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's an issue with our community.
It's not funny, but it's you know.
I'm like, okay.
It is what it is.
I just want to make sure you understand what they're like, oh, yeah, we get it.
So did this happen since, did Epstein commit suicide since we've been on the air?
No, that was after. That was Saturday.
It's been that
I
short.
wanted to hold off on that one until get Travis in so we can kind of, here's what I would say with everything regarding that. I think we should walk through the anatomy of a conspiracy theory, as someone call it. I like to call them theories, and take the conspiracy out. Because I think we could walk through that maybe tomorrow, because you see mainstream thinking and quote unquote conspiracy theorists uniting into blending into a similar line of thinking with this one, which is weird. That traditionally is not how this works.
Right. It's we've met the x-axis.
I would say you can tell. You have to understand that conspiracy theorists will move the goalpost on you with thinking. I know this because I dive into it myself at times.
If you want evidence that a Bigfoot was trouncing around on your land, you'll find it.
Right.
And you will bend the rules
Yes,
to
that's
say
the thing.
so.
That's why
Oh.
if you really want to dive into it, you have to let things settle a little bit
Yeah.
and then start piecing it together. Because like people are going to say, "Oh, conspiracy theorists," because you have like hashtags going around, like
Right.
Clinton body count, Trump body count, and our president of
Wait.
the United States retweeting a comedian, I guess, named Terrence K. Williams, who was kind of on board with one of these Clinton
Well, I can't read it. What's
conspiracy
it
theories.
say?
It says, died of suicide on 24/7 suicide watch. Yeah, right. How does that happen? Epstein had information on Bill Clinton, and now he's dead. I see Trump body count trending, but we know who did this. Retweet if you're not surprised. Epstein suicide. Clinton body count. Clinton crime family. This was retweeted by the President of the United States. So perpetuating a quote-unquote conspiracy theory provided by this gentleman. So that's an issue in itself.
So we can break that down with Travis more.
But if you're a conspiracy theory, that's surface thinking kind of things.
Yeah.
That's why when we walk through the anatomy of it, because you're going to have some people saying Trump, some people saying Clinton, so-and-so money. But then the real conspiracy
Did you
theorists.
see that movie Kingsman? There's British involved in this as well.
But that's looking to place blame. And that's kind of conspiracy-ish. But if you really dig deep, the true conspiracy theorists with this one are the ones that are saying he's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get into the true conspiracy theory piece.
You think that's potentially real? Much more of an undertaking, no pun intended,
Yeah.
to get a body out.
I like things to tell me more.
But you're not dismissing that you think he could
No,
still be alive.
but to approach it that way is narrowing in your agenda immediately, which means you'll miss other details and not allow yourself to see the full story.
So 1,000,000,000%, here's what we can take away from whatever the hell's going on. He did not just kill himself.
That's a possibility.
You think he just was like, well,
Maybe.
man, I finally went too far.
I mean,
He thought
that's
his
the
back
thing.
was up against the wall.
Well, here's the thing: is that's conjecture, and we're making suppositions. Then that's what you have to, and that's what some people want to do, and that's how conspiracy theories get started. But when you do it right away, you automatically have a mindset that doesn't allow you to see the full story.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, like I say, let it sit, and it might take a few more days, but things will start kind of coming out, and you'll start like even things
Did
today.
Did Al Qaeda take credit for this? Remember when they were just taking credit for everything?
There's a sale at Walmart. Al Qaeda.
Murder.
What? How'd you do that?
Murders on the south side of Chicago. Al Qaeda. There it is.
Oh, Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago's a hot button.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna let it come to you, but something's up.
Well, it's high profile, and it's going to get sensationalized no matter what, because it's a high profile, sensational story. Because of who he is. I mean, the guy's, I won't say alleged sex trafficker. I would prefer, because I think that's too nice. I would say more charged sex trafficker, because I think that adds a little bit more. I think we can kind of tell what's going on.
Wasn't he convicted of some stuff, or no? It got.
Well, he had some stuff.
He
and his
caught a break.
sentencing was, but this is a new round, I guess.
Got it.
So, yeah, so he has been convicted of some stuff.
So is it more likely that this is just wild, or are we entering in that thing where, remember when
You just got to be careful.
enemies of the state of Russia were being shot on doorsteps of like public libraries and in the broad daylight? Like, is that where we're at?
I mean, because, well, I mean,
or is this a truly
that
just
would-
crazy thing?
well, that we see where our political scene is right now, and I think that's a worry of some, and that's why this particular story can grow with theories and lends itself to it because of things like that too. But that's where you have to even tiptoe around it even more and like kind of let it develop. Because look, they're already out there questioning how the New York Post got a photo of him being gurneyed into the hospital. Like, and then examining that photo. Why are his arms off the side? You know, and a real EMT would have them inside the railing. And then it just ba 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 ba, and then you're down that path. That's where your thinking goes, and you're missing other things. So that's why it's key early on to kind of let it develop. You can start narrowing in eventually, but I don't know that's the time right now. But conspiracy theories don't develop that way. They have to get narrowed in immediately.
Good country. It's so absurd and so wild and horrible what the guy was supposedly involved with. But
I did see some tweets reacting to it.
Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it. Why not?
I'm trying to see what we had here. This was Epstein's entire life was a conspiracy. Don't tell me his death wasn't.
So that was, yeah, everybody had no clue how he got his money, right?
This one was, if you're surprised that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself last night, imagine how surprised he must have been. That one I think got traction and others were using. I don't know who had it
That's
first.
A little heady. He's saying he's still alive, right?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, look, or he's saying that, someone killed him, basically. Not he didn't.
Right. Yeah,
and then,
that makes sense.
One that was kind of, 2019 is so fucked, you can't just be happy a pedophile killed himself. That was kind of blunt to the point.
Right.
And maybe could be prescient in the end.
Huh.
But, yeah, I think, because Travis is the one who alerted us on Saturday morning on our text chain. And that's when I went in and was like, okay, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, boy, it's already a shit storm.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll keep an eye on some of these, but I'm like, there's no reason to dive into anything right now.
No, it's a rush of everything.
There's too much. You got to let it settle and then kind of piece through it.
I do love that this giant story that involves international leaders, potential sex rings, a private island, all this stuff happens, and yet still Kid Rock and Taylor Swift going after each other it's big news. Did you see this?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have the tweet from Kid Rock? Taylor Swift wants to be a Democrat because she wants to be in movies, period. I just read that did you ever see Joe Dirt? Mm-hmm. Period. His character in that. She wants my body. And it looks like she will suck the doorknob off Hollyweird to get there. Oldest move in the book. Good luck, girl. Kid Rock. He signed it like he's an old man on Facebook and doesn't realize. We already know it's from you, Kid Rock. But he signed it, Kid Rock. Would it have been better if he would have signed it Bob? Isn't that his real name?
Robert, yeah,
Robert Rock.
Because isn't that his? People were pointing out his actual history and everything after he put that out there.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it. He was in Joe Dirt. Dude, you tried to be in movies.
But I think a lot of people were just pointing out, hey, look, you're not even from Detroit. You're from the outskirts of Detroit in a wealthy part. You lived on an estate, basically, and
he did growing up.
Yeah.
I thought if we were straight out of Compton, he was straight out the trailer.
Yeah, so they were.
He cussed like a sailor.
His dad was owned two auto dealerships, and
no.
People were pointing.
I thought him and Eminem were the same story.
No, look it up.
Oh no!
It's a complete.
I despise Kid Rock, but it's.
Let's look it up after the show. Because I don't pay attention to him that much to know those kinds of details, and I'm like, what are people talking about? And I'm like, oh, this is who he is, because
I thought he was white trash.
And then, we'll take a look-see afterwards.
Okay.
A few tweets on that one I saw. Remember when you gave the finger to authority but blurred out the name because you didn't want to upset authority?
There's a photo of him in a court.
Yeah.
Is that right? And
yeah.
He literally blurred out whoever he was.
Who the judge was.
I mean, that's pretty smart. I mean, you don't want
Yeah,
you don't want to judge
yeah,
a vendetta
that's right
against you. Yeah.
Remember when you stole 80% of Werewolves of London for your own song that rhymed the word things with the word things? And I don't even know what the last one was.
I don't know.
Kid Rock is upset because he spent 20 years trying to figure out the secret to making Old Town Road and never did.
That's perfect. That's a great tweet. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. So politics aside, like you just pick Kid Rock. If you pick Kid Rock on this, like this is, he's like a bad pro wrestler, man.
So who's got the better music? Who's got the better catalog? Is that a poll question? Kid Rock or Taylor Swift?
Who you got?
I'm gonna go T Swift.
Yeah. Who's made more money?
Oh, it's got to be Taylor.
He's been around a while.
That's true.
Like, are those royalties paid? I mean,
I think
she's
Sheryl Crow
huge.
spoke out against him the other day too, maybe yesterday after his tweet or whatever. And they have that picture song. God, when that gets played on the jukebox.
She put his picture away, huh?
Uh-huh.
She's
That's what she. That's all she should.
She no longer wears.
It was a picture
wonders where she's
of her putting his picture away. There it
put
is.
His picture away.
You don't even have to say anything.
That would have been way funnier than I assume she was being serious about it, like
yeah,
telling him to shut
and
up.
I didn't read it.
Yeah.
So I just remember seeing a headline about it, but I don't know anything more past that. But yeah, I think the biggest thing to come out of this for me is like, you know,
you're gonna give us an opportunity to roast you, dude.
He's not really someone I gravitated towards when listening to music, so I don't know much about him. I just kind of see things here and there, and then I see people pointing out his history.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, well, this is not what you look like, or if I'm going to stereotype what you are now, maybe people can change. It just seems you would have to force it a little bit more than you've intimated.
What a turd.
Yeah.
Speaking of turds, 4 years. Hand it out to your boy.
Steve Stanger.
Hashtag Stanger.
Almost 4 years. What was it, 46 months?
Yeah.
47 months? Something along those lines, as Sting operation seems to be coming to a close.
Now, does this, and I didn't research this, so don't worry about it if you don't know it. Is this a true 4 years? Like Correa, right? The dude for the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. He did his time, right? He didn't get out early.
He got out to do like maybe finish it at a halfway house or whatever, something like that.
Okay.
Now that could happen here. I mean,
that's what I was gonna say.
Look, I mean, sentencing can be readdressed at different points.
Right.
So I would assume that he doesn't spend it in a prison the entire time, but that maybe there's a transition period where he kind of transitions out of prison and goes into a halfway house to spend the rest of the time, or there's some monitoring maybe.
Do you think this sets a good example for corruption?
It's a good amount of time. I mean, the best his attorneys, from what I can recall, were hoping for was 37 months. And this is more than what they were asking for. So it's not like, but it kind of tells you they realized where this was when the best case they were asking for was that much.
Or do you, excuse me, or do you think his fellow corrupt politicians are just like, he was messy?
Yeah, he was quite. When you look at all this crap,
but
God.
You can't I feel like it's okay. So, season 2 of The Office, whenever when they have a convict, they find out there's a convict working on a program there, and he runs Kevin in accounting through why he got sent to prison. Excuse me. And Kevin says, "That sounds a lot like what I do every day. I need to call somebody." That's how I picture other politicians going like, "He's going for what?" Like what? Who?
Like pay for play thing. Like I'm sure there's quite a few politicians. Oh no!
Right. Yeah. I need to call Big Corn
so
see if we're clean.
These favors I'm handing out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm not naive to it.
You better not be a dick along the way.
I think that's it, and that's kind of the point. Like, who did he get cocky? Like, who did he take out in his Call of Duty?
Well, look who was a dick along the way too. It was Greitens.
True,
I
but
mean,
he's got the military.
Yeah,
stuff.
but his own party turned on him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that a lot of them did. That ends up happening.
It's like with T.O., Terrell Owens, you can do outlandish things that don't vibe with everybody, but the second you lose your 40 speed, you're not going to catch any breaks.
Well, it's just no one had his back in the end.
Right. Stinger.
And there were very few that had Greitens back in the end because, well, quite frankly, because certain donors were going to be exposed at some point with that one.
If he pays
This
in
one we
enough
kinda
money, he
knew.
can get into a halfway house. So all he has to do is pay in order to get some sort of privilege.
Yeah.
Is what we're being told.
So I would expect he ends up there at some point. I wouldn't not right away or anything like that.
You think they'll have video games?
Yeah. We never found out. And even I try to practice journalism from time to time. Could not get answers on that courthouse march.
Right.
Where we
Perp
all
walk.
know how it is.
Perp
After your post-sentencing. I've done this before myself. No, not walking out with cameras,
Right.
but tried to ask questions.
You're now property of the state.
It's one of my favorite things is the courthouse walk, courthouse steps walk in particular. Trying to get answers. Reporters are trying to get answers when no one wants to talk. Stinger was not making or had no comment as he was leaving the courthouse again this go round. I actually have some video of this going down, and right here.
Told you this day was coming.
Oh.
So, obviously, Mr. Stinger's lived a very productive life. That's obvious by everything that was said in court. I have no doubt that he'll take this period of incarceration to better himself, to continue to take programs, and when he gets out, as you see, he's a very, very hardworking man that's been very successful. I have no doubt he will continue to be successful in his next endeavor. So thank you all for coming out.
What's on your heart, man? Come on, give us a little bit of yourself.
Andy Banker.
What do you have to say?
Anything you'd like to say to the people who voted for you?
Justice served.
Oh.
Then you got in there.
Anything you want to say to the voters?
How did it go bad? What happened?
What video games were you playing at work?
Loser.
Who said loser?
I don't know who that guy was. But I tried to get answers. You heard my voice there asking what video games he was playing at work. So I was obviously there. But no answers. No comment at all from Steve Stinger as he left the courthouse. Just his attorney, Scott Rosenblum.
I just want some excellent work on your part on the editing department.
No, I was there, man.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Trying to get answers for you
That's right.
and me.
Doyle Murphy, Riverfront Times, you guys blew it.
How's no one asking that question? I don't understand. I'll have to talk to Kevin Killeen. Why are you asking what's your message to voters from KMOX, who does a fantastic job over there?
Right.
We'll have to talk to Banker over at the Two Fox. Hey, Andy, you look good. The suspenders were a nice touch, especially on the courthouse walk. But why aren't you asking that question? No one's asking that question. It needs to be asked. It needs to be answered more than anything.
Certainly does.
Just to help me out, because I cannot sleep until I have it answered.
I can sleep knowing that we work.
Is it Candy Crush?
I think.
Is it a PS4?
I think it's a first-person shooter. I think it's a Call of Duty thing.
Is it Tomb Raider? I know there's a newer Tomb Raider out.
Gardner, we're talking about being uncomfortable. What makes me comfortable working with great businesses like Pet Once, St. Louis West. That's right. Fresh food delivered to your door. Big shout out to Lynette and Nick for working with us. Another great small business working with us here at We Are Live. If you're looking for fresh organic food delivered right to your door, they can make that happen. You can get a free sample on the website PetOnceStLouisWest.com for more information. Love working with them. They've got all natural ingredients and nutrition you can trust for your lovely pets. Gardner, anything else? We'll get out of here in just a moment. I know everybody.
Is it GTA? Like, I want to know. Is he really? What if he's really good at Madden?
Oh, right. What if he? Yeah, maybe that's his saving grace. Do they play video games in prison? They have to.
I don't know. I don't.
That would really
I don't
chill
have
out
a good
the
command of what happens
Okay.
in prison.
Maybe that's his saving grace. Like he gets in with a rough and tumble group of guys.
But he's a really good
because
player.
He's great at Madden, so they protect him.
So he becomes a commodity then.
Right. Exactly. Well, you don't want to be a tradable commodity in prison. That could be bad too. Gardner, anything else before we head out
There
of
is
here?
one more thing
What do you
we
got?
need to address. Actually, two things. I wanted to wrap one thing up from the photo exhibit at the History Museum. There was one more I wanted to show,
Oh yeah.
which is this one right here. I didn't know this. This is like a glider. There's a glider accident at one point in St. Louis. On that glider was the mayor, a big-time judge,
What's a
the
glider?
president of the Board of Commerce, and all this. Like very important people in St. Louis. We're going to do this little test. And like the co-founder of Lambert Airport, we're on a glider ride. I think it was in the 40s. Might have been late 30s. Can't remember exactly. But here's what I did not know. This glider ride, it got off the ground
Mm-hmm.
almost immediately. The right wing broke and fell off, and
Nope.
it crashed, and everyone died on
Not
board.
good.
So,
Are
in
you
St. Louis,
kidding
at one
me?
point in its history, the mayor and all these people were killed in a glider crash. They had to make the Board of Aldermen president, the mayor at that time, all these people. Like, I had no idea. Just a glider. I don't know what an old glider would look like
Yeah.
necessarily.
When you say glider,
Well,
like
I have to
there's
look it
10
up.
guys
I have to
in
look
that
it
thing.
up. But like the co-founder of Lambert Airport, judges, presidents of
hit?
Board of Commerce.
Was this a hit?
I don't know. Maybe from Board of Aldermen president. The mayor
Completely wiped out.
gone in St. Louis.
Let's look into this a little more. No, wait.
Weird story.
You tweeted something out about the Declaration or something too.
Oh, I saw a Declaration of Independence in the gift shop. I think I'm gonna purchase it. It's only like $5. I'm gonna hang it up in the
He's
apartment.
gonna carry it around with you.
It's gonna be my homage to National Treasure.
Fair enough.
I watched Book of Secrets over the weekend.
Good for you. What a night.
Still wondering what's on page 47, aren't we all?
I don't think anyone is. That's not how I feel about it.
I'll put a poll question out.
Who had the
I'll just
better
say,
weekend?
Are you still wondering what's on page 47?
I went to
No context, just that.
I went to a Brandi Carlile concert for free, and a very cost-effective professional wrestling weekend. I thought I had the best weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe you finding out that you have you can make that happen. Maybe you had the best weekend.
It was a busy weekend, and I had a good time.
I got some work done too. We got a couple new podcasts starting here,
I
so I'm
hear.
excited about that. Yeah.
There is one other thing.
Please.
Tonight at the Funny Bone.
Oh, good call. Finals for their competition. One Thomas Mosslander III competing. Get tickets. You can DM Tommy. You can get free tickets. Tommy, if you go out and support him, you can vote for him in the finals. The Funny Bone alongside many other great St. Louis comics. Do we have a video?
We do. Also, I'll point out, if you see Tommy tonight, ask him about meeting C. Thomas Howell over the weekend. There's Tommy hanging out with C. Thomas Howell.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that from Granite City? That was Tommy getting excited once again.
In
Wow.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
What? So crazy.
But no, if you recall, last Thursday,
Best story ever.
Tommy told us about the time when he was younger, and everyone knows Tommy's medical history at this point. on the show. He's got a heart condition, he's
discussed
had
it
some problems, and
at length.
one point he apparently got a wish from Make-A-Wish. He was like 5 or 6, and you get stuck in your head. What was it? Is it Rascal Flatts that does the?
My wish. That thing on that when I still watched ESPN regularly, it would go from and here's a slam dunk and and did you see the home run? Wow! Now let's cut to a new segment brought to you by Disney, and it cuts to a dying kid in the middle.
Tom
of
Rinaldi
terrible yes.
piano playing in the
Yeah,
background.
right.
Well, I thought it'd be nice maybe to kind of recap Tommy's story in a different way.
Oh, how'd you do that?
And our own little Braveheart, Tommy Mosslander.
Call him Braveheart.
It's time for because that segment on ESPN was called My Wish. I went and watched a few openings of it on Friday, so I thought maybe we kind of recap just a fantastic story told by Tommy.
Yeah, go back and listen
But
to that if you haven't.
instead of just the story, here you go. You ready?
I was sick, and they were like, hey, you want to go have a Make-A-Wish? And I was 5 or 6, and I was like, yeah. And they go, where do you want to go? And I said, Jurassic Park.
Nerd. Yes, I just.
So
I was being silly. You're being mean. This is so brilliant.
And they're like, all right, we can arrange that. And yeah, right? Crazy. They sent me to Universal Studios.
Shut up.
Yeah, they sent me to Disneyland or Disney World, whichever one's right next to
World.
Universal. Is it World?
Yeah.
They sent me to SeaWorld. They sent me to all the parks down there. And we got free passes to Universal, free passes to all the parks.
Shut up.
And yeah, here's the best part about this. I chose to go to Jurassic Park, and they sent me to a bunch of amusement parks. I don't know if you know anything about having a heart condition, but if you go to like Six Flags or something, they yeah, you know,
Oh,
they have these signs up that say you can't ride these rides
Oh no.
if you're pregnant, not a certain height, or have a heart condition.
What is the please somebody?
Because I was in a wheelchair,
Uh-huh.
I got a fast pass basically, so I could skip the lines. He knows where this is going. I could skip the lines.
It's a fast pass because your life's on the line.
Hurry up! We ain't got time
We
for
ain't
this.
got time for no lines.
So my entire family, we would
So
go.
you're out there wheeling around.
Yeah, we would skip the line.
Wheeling and dealing.
We would skip the line, right? And then because I couldn't ride the roller coaster, they'd leave me there.
Saddest fucking thing I've ever heard. They took you to a place where you were supposed to be able to ride, and they wouldn't let you ride it.
Yeah.
This is so. This is the saddest Make-A-Wish. Oh my God. They would leave. Oh. So what would you do while
Since we
they
have
were?
a break, Black Sheep listener, text again. Tommy is still here, so someone doesn't know how to hold up their end of the deal.
Do you feel guilty at all?
Yeah.
That you made it this
But
far.
here's the thing.
Keep going, keep going.
So I would just sit there and wait until they came back.
Who all was on the rides?
My mom.
Who all got to go on the donator's dime?
My mom.
This is what happens when you give
Let
money to
me
make a
finish.
wish. This is what happens when you give it
Yeah.
to make a wish.
Stop interrupting, Chris.
Oh, this is so
My
good.
mom, 3 of my brothers, my sister, my aunt, and her husband.
So you're-
See, because my mom was like, all right, you made this wish, you made this all come true for us. So I'm going to let
us. It's not for them. Oh, that's what the funeral would be
So-
like. That's for them.
So we're going to put you on the Jurassic Park ride. Do you guys know anything about the Jurassic Park ride?
Oh, well, I bet it's
It's
scary.
like you go through and there's dinosaurs. I don't remember a ton of it. You go through. 'Cause I blacked it out. There's dinosaurs on the side, and then the park starts breaking down. And then there's like I think it's like a 300-foot drop where a T-Rex comes out and it goes rah, right? Rah. Anyway, we hit that drop. It gets dark. We hit the drop, and that's where I stop remembering things. The next thing I remember is being in the medical tent because my heart started beating so fast they couldn't get it to slow down.
There you go. You can find that kid at
Funny Bone tonight. Go see Tommy at the Funny Bone tonight. My God, what a story. I wish he would just tell that story for his set tonight.
I want to get him and Shawn on a park bench just telling each other stories.
Who has had more happen to them?
Wow. That's going to be
Shawn's
Shawn.
just got more time.
Yeah, he's just been around longer.
Right.
More
Tommy
life
was literally
experience.
bound to a wheelchair
Yeah.
for many years.
But I could just see them, to watch them ask one another questions about their stories as they tell them. Could be funny. Could
And
be
it-
funny.
And the scene ends with Shawn saying, it's kaput below the waist. And then Tommy, what are you going to do?
I was in a wheelchair.
That'll do it for today. If you haven't yet, hit share, damn it, and subscribe. Throw us the reviews. We got some new reviews on iTunes over the weekend. We love those. They help us out quite a bit. Again, big thanks to Tech Electronics for the studio. They're a wonderful St. Louis business, and you should support them any way possible. We're back live tomorrow at 8 a.m. We have a big week ahead with lots of guests, everything else. Thanks for spending your Monday with us. It's been We Are Live. My name's Chris Demnon. For Chris Gardner, we're back tomorrow live at 8 a.m. We'll see you then.
Peace.